Ah, no, that's the wrong camera. That is absolutely the wrong camera. Everything's going wrong right from the start. Let me just get this sorted out. Hang on a minute. There we go. No. Ah. Okay, I see what the problem is. There we go. Hey there, Shooby Doodlers. How are you doing? I haven't done this for a couple of weeks, and so all the technology is all over the place. I've rearranged my cameras and things so that I can go straight down to my drawing camera. So that's kind of new. And when I go to the drawing camera, you can still see me. I have a little camera just here. So that's sorted. And then let me come back to there. And then I can come and look and see what you were saying. So I'm not quite sure. Jessica Taylor's there and Spark Deeper. I'm confused. Sunday's the 14th. And Saturday is the 13th. Did I say Sunday in my thingy? Let's have a look. Come back to here. Where are we now? I'm confused. Hi, Shoo. Hello there, Jessie K&T, Deputy Chris, Roadblocks. Hi, Jessie. How are you? I'm good. Thank you very much. I've been busy. I've been illustrating a book and writing a children's novel. So I've been illustrating a children's book, which I wrote earlier this year. And so I've got until the 25th, which is like 10, 11, 12 days, something like that, to get it finished. And I'm also writing a novel, a follow-up to my book called Walker, the Boy Who Can Talk to Dogs. So it's the sort of part 2. So it's going to be a series. It's an adventure series, mysteries, that kind of thing. So today I thought what would be interesting was just to draw something and kind of create a character from scratch. And I was thinking, what can I do? What kind of character? And then I thought pangolin. Pangolins are in the news, aren't they? Because it's thought that coronavirus might have come from pangolins via bats or the other way around. And also, in the last few days, the Chinese government have kind of taken pangolin off their list of approved medicines because pangolins are being killed at the rate of knots because people seem to think that grinding up the scales is some kind of medicine, which I'm sure it really isn't. So maybe there's hope for pangolins before they all get completely wiped out. So in the meantime, then I thought, let's have a look at pangolins. And so when I kind of think about illustrating a character, I quite often go to, let me see if I can find it. Share screen. There we go. I tried to go to, I see, this is what I was trying to do earlier. So if I go camera there and then I go the face like that camera there, then you can see me better there. And so the first thing I do is I go and have a look at pangolins and things on, I'm just gone over to something else. No, there is this technology. So the first thing I do is go and have a look at pangolins. These little baby pangolins, isn't that just so cute? The way they kind of hang on the end, but that doesn't look real to me somehow. That kind of, this ground looks like that looks like kind of leather or something. I'm not going back to there. But it does, yeah, it is real because there are sort of staged movements in these pictures. Very, very cute, the baby pangolin. But let's go back and have a look at pangolins generally. So what do we have? Isn't that just so cute? Look, fast asleep. Wouldn't you want to write a book about a little character like that? So actually, let's just have a little look and see what happens. It's on Pinterest. That's a pain, isn't it? It's no good. So what I'm looking at here is there is this kind of pattern going on there like that. And we've got a body and a tail. And then this head, and then the little legs. So let's look at a grown up somewhere. There's that grown up. I've got a feeling that this is I'm still on the baby things here. Let's go back up here. So this is these are other pangolins. So I really like this kind of way they stand up as well. So it's kind of almost Tyrannosaurus Rexy in a way, isn't it? I just realised that microphones probably don't work terribly well from that angle. So let's come back to here. Is that doing it? And you see, when I'm looking at that, I can't see what's going on. Here is, I'm just going to go back to where I was. So here, what I'm going to do is just start doing some sketches, see what we get. So we've got, the body is basically an egg shape like that, an ellipse. And then it's just sort of curving a little bit there in the nape of the neck. And this is coming pretty straight out there. And I know, yeah, people ask me about copying, tracing, and that kind of thing. And what would I call this? We've got a kind of I would call this research. I can just zoom in a bit there, probably. Oop. And how are we on the focus? So there's all these things I probably ought to check out, but everything was going wrong beforehand and I didn't have time to do that. So we had this kind of, there's a thing going on. So I would call this research. And I think I would feel uncomfortable if I just did drawings of straight from photographs, from other people's photographs, because you know the real work goes to the real credit goes to the guy who's gone out and taken that beautiful photograph, but I'm kind of learning from it, and so I'm not kind of doing finished drawings that I want to exploit with these photographs, if that makes sense. And is this copying? I say this is research. And there's that old thing about I'm just going to go back to here. Let's have a look again, because I want to have a look at their claws. Let's have a look at that little baby. One, two. It looks like they've got 3 claws and a thumb, doesn't it? And I'm going to love that picture again. So it looks like we got kind of 1, 2, 3 and a thumb, and then this is sort of coming around like that, and then it's sort of coming straight across. I haven't found out, what I should be able to do is to find out how I could get a picture and then sort of show it on the screen somehow like that. And I kind of assumed, actually, when I first thought of doing pangolins, that we'd have this kind of pattern, which is kind of like you would get with what are they called? Sunflower seeds. And I thought that, you know, we can then do this kind of pattern like that. And it actually, well, now I'm thinking about it, it actually is, isn't it? So I was, yes, so we got that. They do join on like that, yeah. So that is the way they're going. So what we want to do is it's sort of complicated in a way, because as I'm looking at it, they're actually sort of coming down in sort of stripes like that, and it's really tricky. So I'm going to draw, let's say we got one, and the next one is over the top of it, over the top of it, over the top of it, and then we have another one here, and then that's going to be over the top, over the top, over the top, and then this is actually sort of coming down. It's a very complicated thing, and we want to kind of bring claws down there, and I haven't checked out how many claws they have. So we got this kind of pattern going on here, and I can see there's a kind of a pattern like that, and there's a pattern like that. So it looks a bit like a pineapple, and everyone all around me in my little shed here they got their motor mowers out. So by doing that, we got this sort of pineapple shape coming along there, and then somehow we want to get that into there, and we're going to take this tail and let's find the end of a tail. Try that one. Oh, I've got to look in a different place. So let's see the end of a tail. There we are. That's pretty good. That just kind of fades out, doesn't it? Kind of like that. So let's go back to where we were. That one. So these are going to go kind of like that. Looks like, and they'll be getting smaller and closer together. Are we still in the camera? Yeah. And something like that. And so we'll want to get those going across there like that. This is crazy, isn't it? So what am I doing here? I'm just kind of working out what it's all about, really. That one was going there, so that, yeah. I'm trying to work out what makes a pangolin, and how we can draw it far more easily, because this is really, really complicated, as you can see. And I think it needs to be thought of as a kind of a shape into which we are going to drop a pattern. Does that make sense? So let's come back to, oh, you weren't seeing what I was drawing there then, right? Okay. Technology. So I imagine I imagine somebody's going, I can't see what he's doing. It's all being there, it'll be in the thing. Yeah, there we are. The Urban Family UK. I can't see. Hey Shoo, we can't see, says Seshnos. Yeah, so there we go. Right. There we go. Good. So that's where I would start, and I would have these little sort of sketches like this, and I'd start doodling with them in terms of shading and things like that, and just kind of working out how it goes. And what I'm seeing here is this shape and this shape and this shape, and then this and kind of this. These are the building blocks that I'm seeing, and so we've got that nice kind of thing going on like that, and that kind of pointy sort of shape going on down there, and that is coming across. So it's like a suit of armor, really, isn't it? And then we got this kind of shape there, and the eye is really quite low, and there's this definite ear as well. And so this is what I'm kind of liking the look of. I'm going to go back. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming as such viewers, something or other. Excellent connection, it now says. You'll probably find my wife is watching something on Netflix at the same time, so maybe Saturday afternoon's not such a good time. Everybody's mowing all around me. I can hear people out in their gardens. There is a motor mower coming very, very close to me. So let's sort of keep working this out and working out what is the nous of the whole thing. So we've got that, and I'd say if we want that little nape thing going on there, and then that's coming forward, and then we've got a down and a curve into something quite straight, which is coming down, across and up. Okay. And I think, you know, I say so many times, practice, 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 and you cannot do this enough by just practicing and working out what is going on here. That can maybe go a little bit more. And then we've got this. It's like a knight in armour's what do you call it? Helmet there, isn't it? Almost, and then straight down there into the arm, which is then sort of coming around like that, and we've got a thumb and 1 and 2 and 3, and we can, I don't know, I'm just making that much lower than it actually is, and we haven't actually got a mouth there anywhere, so I'm just going to come back and have a look at the mouth. So let's see if I can find a good kind of side view. No, I can't see. Look, oh, look at this! Isn't that so cute? But that just doesn't look real, does it? Look, somehow they all kind of look like they're made out of. Oh, have we got a little mouth there? Yeah, look, you can just see there's a mouth underneath there. So, so I think we need to go forward a little bit, like that, and then the eye is more kind of there. And an ear. So I'm starting to get the feel for it, and I think I did it again, sorry. Live, this is the problem, isn't it? So I think we need to sort of come across like that, down, and then a little mouth, and then there's the nose, and then we come down and swooping down, which means then we can put that up there, and then this kind of knight in armour kind of helmet is put in the ear, and then the eye is really quite low. I'm going to give him an eyebrow as well, because I'm turning him into a character, and then I think the thing to do is then to maybe start from the tail and go all the way up like that. This is really, really difficult, I think, to create these scales. I think they're really, really difficult. And I'm going to get my pen so I can draw over the top of that and see what kind of happens. So if we draw like that, and then I think you probably got to kind of draw each one of these to kind of make it work, like that, and I think that's probably what we have to do. But then I'm sure I kind of feel that the more you draw and the more you practice, suddenly you'll find there's kind of a way of doing it will suddenly come to you. And this is just kind of getting used to something that is new and different, and you just have to practice and practice and practice. And they're going to have these little ribs down them as well, which makes the whole thing really quite complicated to draw. And so they're going to be kind of like that. And let's have the eye about there, and that's about right, and then a little claw, and then we just have to kind of keep drawing all of these. And I will keep drawing these, and then I'll come and see what comments you have to make about this so far. And whether you're having a good Saturday so far. Are you out of lockdown yet? How's it going? Have you got really bored of being locked down? And in case anybody is watching this in 25 years time, this is in the, well, it's still the middle of the coronavirus epidemic thing. We're sort of coming out of it bit by bit, but hesitantly. Well, at least over here. I know some people in New Zealand I saw today, they were all out there. They've been cleared. They said they are coronavirus free. I'm not going to dry this, so it'll probably smudge. So if I get rid of the pencil underneath, I'll get a kind of a feel for what's going on. Yeah, so I saw in New Zealand today they were having a great big rugby match with 40,000 people in the crowd, and it was just so strange to see people close together, cheering and shouting and being normal. And then the news channeling changes to another story about people bubbling up. If you're watching in 30 years' time, we're bubbling up. Is anybody watching bubbling up? Do you even know what I'm talking about? So I will come to that, and it's done it again. I don't know why. So let's come back to here. You've probably not been able to see any of that, have you? Did I change that? It's the wrong camera. I don't know what's going on here. So there we go. And I want to be looking at what's going on here. Hey, see, we can't see it. Can you still see? There we go. Carolyn, hey, how are you doing? Had to look up what a pangolin is. We call it a pine cone animal in our colloquial. Yes! I can understand that. I can completely understand that. So Sesh sort of says, yay, all good now, thanks, Shoo. So the deputy was beautiful, thank you. Sesh, it's okay, Shoo, the background sound isn't as bad as you may think it is, no stress. Jessie, amazing, thank you, Roblox, I know, right? Clay Radcliffe, the proportions are kind of insane. The front claws on an adult are almost the length of the head. They are. It's really, really chunky. But I think I think maybe, I mean, another thing that I would do, let me actually come back to there. Another thing that I would do is I would go and have a look at Pangolin Skeleton, because then that is quite often very revealing. So let's go to images, and they've got them climbing up trees. I didn't think they really kind of do that much. I think they're kind of quite ground level kind of thing. So look, it's like a suit of armour, isn't it, which is placed over. And those are big forearms, aren't they? They're almost as big as the back legs. So I guess they're diggers, aren't they? If anybody's in Australia, I think digger is a how you doing, digger? Something like that, isn't it? I think let's have a look at that. These are no 1, 2, 3. Ah, look. You see, that is really interesting. So I wonder if we can go to that. It's always on Pinterest, isn't it? I'm not really kind of. No, I hate Pinterest. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to stick that onto. I'm going to put this into Photoshop, and I'm going to see if I can just change this to Photoshop, so you can see in here where then I can zoom in, because this is a really, really big picture. And look, we got thumb and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it is. It's got sort of a hand. So there's a thumb and 4 fingers, but that third finger, the middle finger, is enormous. It's much more pronounced, isn't it? And you don't really get that feel from the drawings. Can you hear the motor mowers going? You don't really kind of sort of sense that from the photographs of them just walking across like that. And then the skull, look how simple is that. There's no kind of real teeth in there. I think they have a great long tongue, don't they? That's a whole lot more research to do. So I will now come back back to there. In fact, what I really should do is to come back to share the screen and then type in there Pangolin Pango Tongue? Because maybe that's yes. Oh my goodness! You see, this is a great big thing. See, I felt, shall I do a load of research beforehand? Now I thought, no, I will share this whole research process with you. So look at this enormous... The pangolin family Manidae has highly specialised food adaptation to eat ants and termites. Their jaw forms a toothless tunnel, which allows their incredibly long tongue to reach into the insect's nest. Unlike most mammals whose tongues are attached to bones in the neck, the tongues of the pangolin attaches to the end of the sternum, which itself extends into the abdomen. That's ridiculous, isn't it? So this enormous great tongue comes out. And then do I go back to that? Yeah, and so then we can have a look then in Photoshop, where I got this big photograph in here, and you can see this kind of groove, and there are no teeth, so it's just, it's a very weird kind of thing. So we have to be no, where am I? Oh yeah, I should be there. No, this has all gone wrong again. This has all gone wrong again. So let's come back to that. If I click to that camera, so we really ought to be thinking of it. It's not a little smiley thing. It's a little kind of a woo, 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 woo. So we really want to have kind of woo. I'm trying to think. Mwah. little lips. So maybe sort of something like that. And ooh, so we're going to get this great long tongue sticking out there. So I think if you're going to think about writing a story about a pangolin, Carolyn says pine cones. It's called a pine cone animal, which you can absolutely see that it's like a pine cone. And this is where sometimes stories just might not translate, so that you could be happily writing a story in English and thinking, yeah, and they'll get the joke in America about it being a pine cone or something, and then in another country, in another language, where there aren't any pine cones and they've never come across pine cones, they might not even have a word for pine cones. Then the whole thing just falls apart, especially if the whole nub of the story is based around the word pine cone. So not all stories travel because of that. Luckily, English is a massive market, so most kind of jokes and things like that, sort of based around words in English, will work around the world because people speak English a lot. But if you're sort of writing something in another language, things don't always translate, if that makes sense. So there's possibly idea for a story based around a pine cone. But I think it's this tongue is the thing, isn't it? This tongue is actually a limiting thing for a character, because really to make it a character, then we're going to have this kind of let's do this thing. He's going to need to be going hi, and sort of saying hello to his friends and things. And to make him smile, you're going to have to give him teeth. He doesn't have teeth. So really, you need to think of a story with something to do with this great long tongue and something to do with the ants. So you're going to have little ants on there as he's eating up all the ants. And in which case then you need, again, to think about how we're going to get him. And you see in all these little sketches, every time you do it, you're just kind of getting more used to drawing the character, and it's funny little things. So you could just do the whole thing, whole expression, with, you can maybe have it just slightly open, and then let's try another kind of thing. So he wants to be looking a little bit sad, kind of thing. So you just do it with a droop of the mouth and the lift of the mouth, and the juxtaposition of the eyebrows to sort of gain expression into a character. So the next thing that I would be thinking about is, how do you draw this character in 3D? So the first thing I'm going to do, sharpen up my pencil. And, oh, should I have coffee? Should I have tea? Tea. They're both cold, but the tea is less cold. So, you know, I've done this thing with faces before, and to treat them like a globe. And so if we sort of keep the equator there, but then we twist it round that little bit, and we keep the equator there and we twist it round a bit, and so it's like that. And so we can also keep the equator there. No, keep the vertical there rather, and then we can move the equator, yeah. So that would be looking down, so that we'd get the eyes there and the nose there and the mouth, so that we know that we can have the eyes there and the nose there and the mouth and the eyes and the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And here we would have the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And so, you know, so that would be something like that. And I know I've shown you this many times before, but I imagine there are lots of people watching for the first time. So you will find I've done videos about this. If you go and have a look about sort of character thing from different angles, in fact, I will put a little link up here as time goes on. So with the pangolin, we're going to want to do that and think, so let's have a look at this face head on. So it's going to be quite long, and we're going to want to have this, that's this kind of the skull part here, so that's this bit here. And we're going to want the eyes on the side, like that, looking at us, more like that. And a nose, and a mouth, and then that's going to be sort of going down like that, I think. And then, this is not easy. This is very tricky. So I'm gonna think that's where the claws are gonna go. Thumb, claw, 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 thumb, claw, 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 and we'll bring that kind of around like that. And we got the body will be in there, and so we're going to want to have the leg like that, and that leg. So I'm starting to make it up now, because I'm not looking at the so that will be over there. So I'm not looking at any reference material. This is my reference. And now I'm kind of trying to work it out in my head from there, and that will be something like that. And so if we think of this as I think it's probably going to be slightly curved like that, I should think. So that if we were to twist it a little bit to a 3/4, it's going to be something like that. Then that will be coming down like that. And then actually that really wants to go that way, I think, doesn't it? So that we're going to have the eyes about there, and we'll have the nose there, and then the mouth will be there, and then we can work out that the cap is going to be about like that. And then coming back here, we know that needs to sort of go back at an angle, and then the mouth, the head is going to go up into that, and then that will be the ear. This is actually starting to look more like a character, isn't it? So then we have this thing that is going on. So from round about there, we want to kind of bring the claws, and then that will be coming there, and then again we'll have claws coming like that, and that will be then going that way, and it doesn't matter that I'm drawing over the other one, because this is just kind of working it out. And in most things, that's all you really need to do is a kind of a head on and a side and a 3/4 and a side. So from there then we can then draw the side as well. And that was coming down there, wasn't it, like that? And the curve, the eye. And I kind of feel like it's starting to sort of turn into something now. But that's from just drawing and drawing and drawing. So if we go like that and that and that and that and that and that, and then and then we need to sort of work out how we're going to do that kind of thing there as well. So that comes down there, that swings around there, and then that will come down maybe over there, and then I think we can try and get some expression into the tail as well, I think, as if we can. And then it's all about this pattern. And I don't know if you know, what's her name, Lola and Thingy. And my uncle is a hunkle. What's her name? Let me go have a look. See if I can find. If we come to, where are we down there? And I put here, my uncle is a hunkle. Images. There we are. Lauren Child. And you will see there's a thing that she does here. And she draws the pictures, and she actually cuts the paper out, and then she gets material, cloth material, or patterned paper or something like that, which she puts in underneath. You can also do this in Photoshop. You can't see that quite so well, but here you can see. You don't want to do that. You can't really see that there. Actually, if I can zoom in, I might be able to do that. Here you can see. I'll try not to touch. Here you can see that this is actually cloth material, which makes it kind of look right somehow. And zoom out. Can we find another one? Lauren Child. What have we got on there? That's actually all pretty much drawn there. But it's something that you could do. Switch to that camera, and it's gone over to there. Something that you could do is to draw your shape. Like that, something like that. So what you could do is draw that shape, and then actually physically cut out the inside. You know, you'd need to get a very sharp knife, a kind of a scalpel or something like that, and then let me do this. Let me do this and show you what I mean, because I do just happen to have a scalpel to hand. I'm going to put my glasses on so I actually see what I'm doing. So I have been doing this kind of thing for years and years and years, and I have been handling a Swan Morton number 10 scalpel for, well, more than half my life, every single day, and I have great respect for it. So I always make sure that my fingers are well behind the blade, because I have had accidents in my time. So what you could do is, let me find a piece of rough paper. So you could get another piece of paper. Let me get this bit here. So we could get another piece of paper and you could draw a standard pattern like this. Or you could find some wallpaper. Or you might even find a photograph that you could copy, and then you can do lots of things like this. And then you stick, you want it smaller or this wants to be bigger. But you could then stick that over, so you've just got this one standard kind of skin that you can then stick over the top. So that would save you an awful lot of drawing. But now I'm going to try and draw, if I can find another piece of paper underneath it. So now I'm going to try and draw something, a pangolin that maybe you can follow. And so let's make him a bit more plump, I think. So we need that. Can you see it? So we have this shape here. And then that is basically a circle going on there. So let's see what happens. So from there, we're going to need to have a circle round about there. And this will curve into the nape of the neck and around to the top there, forwards, and then it's going to come into that curve and then down straight like that. Now the cap is going to be about there, and this is coming down and straight across and down like that. And here we're going to want to bring that tail kind of down like that, and then we want this zigzag, 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 zigzag to about there. Except we don't, because we need the legs coming in here as well. So we want the legs kind of coming down like that and like that. So you need to put the legs in first. You need to get him settled on the ground, which is where I've gone absolutely wrong. So let's do that, and then we can do that zigzag, zigzag, zigzag up to there. There's an ear, there's an eye, there's a nose, thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to change to pen, and I'm going to go and do this nice lovely curve down to the bottom, and then I'm going to do the zigzag, 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 and then you got the zigzags to the back there. It's a bit like sort of flash, that's kind of sort of lightning boots kind of thing there. And then let's bring this in there, and that can come down. And what was I doing? Yeah, so this can maybe be a little bit ziggy zaggy there, and then we can bring in these great big claws at the bottom. So we know that we got a thumb, and then we got one, and then we got an enormous one, if you remember. And then 3, and then 4, and we can bring that forward there like that. And we'll have the eye, so I'm making slightly larger than it actually is, and I'm going to put a little wiggle in there for the ear, give him an expression, and then I'm going to just draw the nose, and then just a little hint of a smile there, and then I think I'm just also going to do something like that, which will be the leg behind. And I'm wondering if we can maybe do something. So maybe he's gonna go and stop like that. So yeah, if we get a kind of a shape like that, and then his thumb will be going, and then he needs to be, his mouth needs to be a bit more demonstrative in that case, and then we'll have a claw and a big claw, and then a smaller one, and then a little one like that. Okay, so that's sort of moving it into something a bit more interesting now, I think. And a bit of ground, and then I'm going to get my hairdryer. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And that's the bit. So whenever I'm doing my pre-recorded videos and I say, and when you're absolutely sure the ink is dry, then erase the pencil line. And that's the bit that I've just edited out. There's me doing the hairdryer bit. So, so I just go straight to that. But do always, you know, make sure that the ink is dry before you erase the pencil lines, because the ink will smudge and you don't want that to happen. So I am thinking then that what happened here, so there was this kind of line went up like that, wasn't there? And so I'm going to make the scales a little bit bigger than they actually are, I think, just to make that a bit more easy. And then those are going to sort of come around like that. And then they'll get a bit closer together at the top. And then I think we need to sort of curve the other way somehow, like that. No, I think this would take a lot of research and practice, and just playing with this to get. I don't like that at all. There we go. Now the other thing as well is that this pencil, I really love this pencil. It's a Palomino Blackwing, but it does stain, and it's quite hard to erase the pencil lines, but it's really sort of soft and smooth. I think the word is creamy. I think it's the word people use for the Palomino Blackwing, and it's the classic newspaper reporter's pencil, apparently. I don't know why. I just heard about it once and managed to get a box. I think they're made in California. So I think I'm just going to do this. Yeah. And see what happens. So I'm just going to, I'll use these here to get started with these kind of little in points here. And then maybe try and get a bit of curve in there. Let's start from this direction and come down. And I know I missed one there, but you know, don't worry about these things. You know, people are rarely sitting down and looking at a drawing for hours. They just have a quick look, you know, while they're reading the story, and whoosh, they're off, turning the page. And so all those fine little details, they're not really sort of taking in. And then we'll do that. So if you're following along and doing your own version, don't forget you can put your picture up on Instagram or Twitter, because I don't really look anywhere else, but hashtag it with Shooby-Doodle, and you'll find the link in the comments box below, in the description box, and then I'll be able to see it and give you a heart or something like that. And let's just keep going down there. So I'm gonna, oh yeah, that doesn't quite work. So that's telling me the next time I need to get these more sort of equidistant. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? There we are. Drawing live is not good. You see, you need a team of people. When you see these TV programs that TV drawing programs, and then you look at the credits at the end, all these people involved. And this is just me. So I'm going to get my hairdryer again. And then I'm going to erase those pencil lines. And then you know, honestly, I would redraw this if I was wanting to do this as a character in a book. I would then, you know, in the evenings while I was watching the TV with Mrs. Rayner, I would have my sketchbook out and I would just be doodling, and I would draw again and again and again, and maybe, you know, maybe do this 100 times if necessary, if necessary 1,000 times, until you really understand it and haven't really got it. And you know, it's practice means doing it again and again and again, and each time your hand gets used to the lines and the, you know, the way it works, and it sort of begins to understand what's going on. And here, you know, while I'm doing this, I'm thinking these little lines should really be flowing in the direction of the body, and they're not quite doing that really. And so my mind is telling me I need to find a way to get these so that they flow much better. So this is the boring bit. You see, I always kind of think, oh, I won't do that bit because everyone will get bored. But it's kind of like watching paint dry, isn't it? Really watching this like that. Good. And then, you know, we're going to want to have some, because they're kind of living in the grass. So maybe he is, you know, maybe there is a tree here, and that's kind of there, and he's kind of thinking about, or he's playing peekaboo even with this tree, that's sort of going off with some leaves. And this kind of long grass, and then shall we colour this in? Shall I see if you've got any things you want to say yet? Let's come over to here. So, no, that's the one I want to see. Hello from Spain, Jamie Saldias. Hi there, I'm a great fan. Congrats for your dedication and knowledge. Thank you very much. And where are we? Deputy Chris. I have a go now. Bye, but never mind. Thank you. Deputy Chris, beautiful. It's okay. Your background isn't as bad. Oh, then we know we've done all that, haven't we? Cestral. So I'm taking out my sketchbook now and trying this. Thank you, Shoo. Always a motivation. Bonus is both my girls are sleeping now, so I can do it all the way. Yeah. I remember those. I remember those days. They're asleep. It's wonderful. My kids are quite big and grown up now, let's say. But even, yeah, never mind. Siobhan C says, this makes me so happy. You're so funny and just generally fun to watch. Thank you. Jamie, James. In Spain, we call it virulin. That's the pangolin is called virulin. That's interesting. No, I've lost where I was. Virulin, there we are. Sri Shivendra, hey, I know you since I was 7 years old. I've been doing this on YouTube since 2011. Well, I think, but long before that. But no, probably about 2008, 2009. I think my first ones went up. So I've been doing it sort of some time, haven't I? So yeah, if you were 7 right at the back, you probably got all grown up with a degree and everything else by now. So starts off a bit like how you start drawing a mouse or a rat. You really make it easy to follow. Yeah, it is. It's a mouse. It's a rat, but it's got different clothing on the top, basically. Yeah. Hi, my name's Carmel. I'm 9. We don't tell everybody how old we are, Carmel, on the internet. Okay. Don't ever do that again. Right? However old you are, don't tell us how old you are, and don't tell us where you live. If you're under 13, you should be watching with your parents, okay, and have your parental permission. So please don't do that again, okay? But you're very welcome. La Victoire Rosé, you helped me through my depression. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. And if I can help that a little bit. And he says, I love how you draw. Thank you. Carmel, yeah. But as I say, you must you must be over 13 or have your parents' permission, and please don't tell us how old you are, things like that on the internet. So I'm going to get my paints. Here we are. I don't know what we do. Oh, well, let's see what we can do quite quickly, because it's coming up to an hour or something. So let's just go back and see, what do we have on that? So that's that one. So we actually want to go to Safari. Let's have a look. There we are. We don't want Horrid Henry, do we? No. So let's go back to Pangolin. So just see if we can go a bit of Pangolin. Oh, let's say Pangolin. Let's just see what kind of colour we're talking about. It's a kind of a greeny brown, isn't it? Greeny brown with a little pinky face, really, kind of thing. You've got African ones and Asian ones, so they are slightly different. I quite like this little one here. Look at those little ears. Ooh, that's just so sweet, isn't it? Look at that. That's just so cute. Of course, the other thing to do is make, draw it as a baby, which makes it much more cute, doesn't it? So I am going to basically, I think I'm going to get some yellow ochre and a little bit of green in there, I think, and maybe a bit of burnt umber as well. And I'm just going to kind of paint the whole thing like that. And I think when you're doing characters, it doesn't really matter. There's no reason why, you can't paint every single every single scale a different colour. You could be a multicoloured, maybe that's the story, is the multicoloured pangolin. He kind of stopped eating ants and started eating bubble gum or something instead, and and all his scales turned into bubblegum colours. It's just kind of, I don't know. So there's no reason, but I mean, you could make him pink, you could make him blue. There's no reason he has to be this colour, because it's not the most gorgeous colour, is it, really? So, and let's have a tree in the background, and I'll just add a little bit of so I'm going to make the tree darker in the background. And you see, when you got a tree that's pretty much the same colour, then it's probably quite good to have your main character completely different colours. So you could have the blue pangolin. It even sounds like a book, doesn't it? So if we kind of whoosh that in there, the blue pangolin. It has a ring to it. It sounds like a sort of a film noir with Humphrey Bogart in there. So, what are you doing with your blue pangolin? And pucker up and stick your tongue out, pangolin. Something like that. Yeah. I've been as I say, if you're watching in 2030 or something, we've been locked down, and the news has been relentlessly going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about coronavirus, and I just got a little bit tired of it. So I kind of started watching occasionally, just to cheer me up, old Fred Astaire black and white movies, dancing and stuff like that. And it's just you can have enough of it, can't you? You can have enough of doom and gloom. It seems like this news channels can't get enough of it, but but there's an awful lot of it around at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of getting there, isn't it? And I need some, excuse me, I got my kitchen towel here, so I have a great big, I got a new one. It's a new one. That's nice. Good. great wodge of kitchen towel. So this is my Pentel Aquash brush, and you just squeeze the barrel. The water's in the barrel and it comes out there. And so let's have some little leaves on there as well, and then we're going to want a kind of a pinky. It's kind of a pinky face, don't we? Pinky browny face like that. And I'm thinking maybe to try and kind of get a little cheeky, sort of rosy cheeks in there, maybe like that. And I think we'll also be getting, will be a bit of sort of shade from there, and maybe we can make those ears a little bit pinker as well, like that. And the claws are going to be quite dark. And I'm just going to get my hairdryer out again. Just to dry it a little bit. And I know some of you will be going, oh my goodness, what is that paper he's using? I'm just going to get a little bit of blue into the eye like that as well, I think. Some of you are saying, what is that paper he's using? It's nothing terribly special. Well, that's that's debatable. It's basically Seawhite of Brighton heavyweight cartridge, which is 220 grams, which I think is about £300, something like that, I think. And we call it cartridge, and I think in the States you might call it Bristol paper, but it's, I've never quite really been sure about this. So I don't think cartridge paper is a term that's used in the US. It's definitely in the UK, and cartridge being, that's kind of paper that cartridges were made from for shooting. So paper cartridges filled with gunpowder. So I'm just doing these little, I don't know how accurate I really need to be with these. I can probably just do something, just blob 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 blob. So I'm going to be finishing up in a moment. So if you've got any final questions you want to ask me, start typing them up now, because it takes about 10-15 seconds for them to come through to me. And if you haven't typed them up and I finish this and I'll come and have a look and think, oh, you haven't done it, but so if you've got any more questions, so that's kind of and I think in my sketchbook I'll find lots of little things like this and a bit of sort of sky, where I just kind of started out on something and thought, yeah. And not being quite sure where to take it, and then suddenly, 2-3 years later, something else will happen. I think, oh, that character I did, and I go back and find it in my sketchbook, and I might not do it exactly the same, but it's the basis of something, and it kind of starts off something. So, just because, if you play around with a character like this and nothing really happens, don't worry about it, because it'll be sat in your subconscious, waiting for another connection, something else to make the whole thing work. And suddenly one day you go, oh yeah, kapow, and it'll all just suddenly sort of come together. And you have to kind of have faith that that will happen. And if this isn't quite working and you're just not quite sure where to take it, just go, yeah, I like that, done that, been there, done that, and let's move on to the next thing that I'm interested in. That interests me, and go and play with that idea for a while, and then go and play with another idea, and then suddenly one day you'll be playing with a whole new idea, and you'll be, oh, it really works with that other idea. So often one idea isn't enough. you have to have kind of two ideas come together. Three ideas have to come together to make sense of something, and that's how it works. Right, let's see where we are. So, I have to find all these. So, right, the Urban Family. Can't see you again. I hope you saw the pictures. Oh, great render. Please shout me out. My name is Akil Albert. Albert. We would say Albert, but I have a feeling that might be Akil Albert. Sounds good. Anyway, Nicholas 124. Will you do a Saturn V drawing or a SpaceX rocket? Yes, I think I probably need to do that sometime, don't I? Please show us the painting process. I've just done that. Jessica Taylor, can't see you. Oh, I don't know when that was. Please shout me out. I've done that. If you say please shout me out too many times, you don't get a shout out. And if you say will you do a Saturn V too many times, then I won't do that. Nicholas 1234 says show us your sketchbook. Oh, you just saw my side view. Oh dear. Right. Did you not see the painting? Do you mean I did all that without you did I paint all that without you seeing it? That would be awful to know that. I'm going to get my head around this one somehow. Where are we now? You didn't change camera while painting? I don't believe it. There we go. So I painted the whole thing without you seeing it. That is a shame. So maybe I have to work on this a bit more, and then on I will do a kind of a different one of how to draw a pangolin, and that's how we go. Good. So sorry about that. I'm going to yeah, sorry about that. There we go. I tell you what I'll do, but I will scan these and I will put them on my Patreon page. Oh, I can do that. Hang on. Bing. If you enjoyed these shows and you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee to keep me going, head on over to patreon.com/Shoo Rayner, where you will find all the details of how you can support this channel. In the meantime, on with the show. Oh, I can do that technology. Anyway, so I will scan these and I will put them up on the Patreon page. And next time, I hope I'll get there's something I'm doing wrong. But I will try and get that right for next time. So thank you very much for joining me. And I will try and do how to draw a pangolin thing with painting. I get it right. Okay, thanks for watching. And I'm going to press this button. Well, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you click that little subscribe button, and when you do, ring the bell so that you get notifications of when I am going to go live next. You can come along and join in and bring your ideas as well. In the meantime, stay safe, keep well, and keep drawing. Practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.